scrapbooking style has changed, because here we are, I have a lovely page and I've used pretty much paper embellishments, but it doesn't have the oomph that I want it to have. And when I look back at some of my previous layouts, I really like the ones where I've used found items like buttons and jewels and plastic pieces and metal. And so I'm trying to kind of make it a habit of grabbing my drawer full of these kinds of things and picking out a few that I want to add to my layout. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. How you take a paper primarily layout and add some extra oomph to it. So when I'm going through and I'm looking at my buttons, I'm looking for things that have a shank on the back that I'm able to cut, and that they're not too thick. So for example, this one is actually kind of thick, and so if I were to add foam, it would be even thicker. Like, I probably won't ever use this one on a layout because, again, that is pretty thick. When you're adding extra bulk to a layout, you don't want it super thick. But I did want to give you a tip on how to remove the shank on the back of the button, because buttons are one of my favorite items to use. So for example, I've got this one here. It's kind of got a swirl to it, which I think is cute. I don't know that it's going to go on this layout, but I just want to be able to show you how to remove a button shank. So this is actually just a wire cutter, and I used you can find these at a hardware store. I think that's where these ones are. Also jewelry making, you can grab some for jewelry making. They are in that aisle if you want to just go to Hobby Lobby or something. And all you're going to do, this is plastic, you can do metal too, because these are metal cutters, right? You're just going to kind of squeeze the button shank. So I have this here, and I'm going to cover it and squeeze. In this case, it didn't cut all the way because I'm not strong enough, but I can go the opposite direction and probably get it to come off. So this one's a little bit harder than normal, but I'm trying to get this as close to smooth as possible. Now, when you are adding buttons, you do need to add some foam to them, because you're never going to get this quite as even as the back unless you sand it down. I don't got time for sanding, so I got it as close as I can. And it just so happens I most likely will be able to use the thin version of foam squares. I'll link these down below, and be able to pop it up. So when I'm going through here, I have just a thing I found at a garage sale. I have no idea. Got a whole bunch of different colors. I decided to go with the blue because blue's not in these clusters, but it's on the background here, and it's a color that I want to emphasize. So I'm going to add that right there. Now, these didn't come with a paper in the inside. I ended up having to cut this and do a whole bunch of fidgeting to get this piece of paper to stick in here, and I don't want to pop it out to be able to glue it on. So I'll probably just add a couple foam squares right here so that piece of paper stays, and then I'll add glue to the whole thing on the back. So there's that one piece. Like, look already how your focus goes from here to here, which I think is, you know, good. I don't know. And then I've got some metal pieces here. These are actually just paper clips, and I'm not going to clip them on. I'm just going to enjoy the craziness of the extra. And I want to add a butterfly, so I cut a butterfly out of one of the papers from the Cocoa Vanilla Happy Days collection, and that I'll link that down below too if I can find it. So I'm going to add that right there. And then this little area right here is kind of bland, so I'm going to add a couple of these. Now, I also have some sequins, and I think I'm going to do both. So, oh, here's a plastic flower. That's cute. I'm just going to grab a couple of these. Let's see. And I'm going to go for clear because I already have enough color. And I'm going to use these kind of like enamel dots. So when I put enamel dots on now, it's in the clusters of 2. Not a huge fan of the cluster of 3. So I'm going to make them point towards this. Shift that down a little bit. And then I've got a little bit of a blank spot right there, so I'm going to do the same thing. Let's take a medium and an extra small. And I want this to kind of look like that. There we go. So I don't have them facing the same direction on purpose. They're both pointing towards this. And then one of the pieces in this bag is actually, I don't know what that is, but it's gonna go perfectly right in here. And I had to back it with white because this oval is not the same oval as the blue. So that's getting pretty thick. So that's as far thick as I can go on that piece right there, because that's getting pretty thick there. So then I've added this down here, which I think is super cute. Now I've got a little bit of a weird spot right there. So if I go ahead and continue this, that'll help, I think. And I want a medium one, and I'm not seeing one, so, you know. But just grabbing those supplies that are extra, you know, your wood veneer, your acrylic pieces. Let's start adding them to our pages instead of just having paper and stickers. It's going to increase, I think it makes your layouts go from meh to wow when you add these pieces in. And you know, you see those designers who are from like, Graphic 45 and that, they use flowers a lot. I don't use flowers a lot. I probably should pull them out. But I already have paper flowers, so I think that is okay. Now I do want to add some of these in here. So this little tray here I got from Pick Fresh Studio. Part of their crop and create, like a little goodie basket kind of thing. So it does wonders when you are trying to have this kind of extra embellishment. So this bag of sequins is actually from, I think it was Hobby Lobby. They've got a little extra sparkle to them. I like it. Now these I might add in 3. No, I still don't like 3s. So let's do this. I'm trying to make it a line or something. I don't know. Just to add a little bit of sparkle. Now when I adhere these things, I am going to use my art glitter glue. I have found that is the best. That's the best. I don't know. To glue these kinds of extra embellishments. Let's see if I can add a couple right here. For the butterfly tail. Cute. That really adds some bling, especially with the sequins. These sequins are all the same size, so I don't have the option to do like the big to small, small to big, which is fine. But adding these extra sequins are gonna really take this layout and add some sparkle, for sure. What kind of embellishments do you guys like to use? Do you like to add some found items that you have in your stash? Do you stick with your paper and sticker embellishments and just not even worry about it? I mean, there's no wrong way to scrapbook, right? There just isn't. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm encouraging you to go grab those things that you found at a thrift store. You're like, oh, I think this is perfect for my page, you know, or I could totally use this on a page. And go grab it. You bought it. Go use it, right? My friends is my page, and how I used found items, clearly lots of found items on there, to really make it stand out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.